Aaron, it was a rough go for 6 innings there as far as the offense was concerned, but what did you think of the way your team came together, took advantage of the extra outs there in that 7th inning?
Yeah, got a couple defensive miscues that we're able to take advantage of. Grinded. It was tough tonight, tough night, cold, windy. Clark gave us a great opportunity there, holding them down, and then Dennis Santana coming in and really bridging the gap to the back there, keeping it at bay, and then obviously a big swing by Juan. So good job of just nose down, keep on playing. It's not always going to be perfect, and we took advantage of some breaks.
You mentioned Juan, huge home run, 3-run shot. You look at his start to his Yankee career, 5 homers, 20 RBI. You know the talent that he had coming in, but to see it on a daily basis, what has that been like?
It's been impressive. What he's doing between the lines is great, but love what he's doing behind the scenes and in the room and just connecting with our team and, the work and the pride he puts into all facets of the game. That's been the coolest thing to witness, but watching him go out there and perform between the lines has been special.
And with Volpe, he got off to such a hot start. He's had a little bit of a slowdown here lately, but to break the 0 for 13 with that single there in the 7th inning, what was different about his approach, or what did he tweak to come through there?
Yeah, he almost got a great push bunt on you got the sack for it, but that open right side at bat before, I thought it was a great time for it, opportunity. And then, they bringing the infield in, he's able to get a piece of it enough to get it out over the infielders' heads, and just the big at bat there, obviously, to set up Juan.
Susan,
what was the argument there at the end when the trap ball or the infield fly rule? What was the?
Yeah, so we had thought maybe he could call the infield fly, but he went up and called out because he thought Judge caught the ball, I believe. So we kind of saw it as he was going to call the infield fly. That was why we were telling Oswaldo to tag him. It's not a force play on that situation. So I was checking for 2 outs there possibly, but I think they got it right. I'm assuming Cash was arguing that you called them out. We didn't know, To
the left, Chris.
Now that you get to see him every day, is Juan an even better hitter than you imagine?
It's April, and I imagined he was pretty great. And I've seen him in small snippets when we've had a chance to play him where he's been pretty great. He's off to a historic start to his career, so I kind of went in with that context. He's been, the best thing for me is I obviously knew we were getting an amazing player, but I've really enjoyed the person and the teammate.
Gary.
When he's throwing the bat down and beating his chest, screaming towards the dugout, what's your reaction in that moment, and what's that do for the rest of the dugout?
Yeah, I actually didn't see that because I was admiring where that ball was going. That's of the 5 homers, that's the first one that I think he's really, really stepped on. Like where's this going to land? So I was paying attention to that, so I didn't see all that.
Rand.
What are you thinking when Clay's going through that? He's had some tough moments, but he always seems to get out of it. Sometimes closers have seasons like that. What are your thoughts on what he's done so far?
Yeah, I think he's been great. He's throwing the ball really well. He's got, he can get you out a couple ways. The sliders become a better and better pitch for him. He's always 1 pitch away because he's going to eventually put you on the ground. And I just think he's a more well-rounded, polished pitcher as we continue to go. So, he's off to a great start for us.
And with Soto, the rep when he came in defensively, mediocre at best, and he seems to have played a lot better than that so far. He made another pretty good catch tonight.
Yeah, he's made some really good plays, had a couple of big assists, obviously, out there as well. Again, that's part of the whole, what I've been excited about is the package that I've seen. This guy cares about not just hitting. This guy cares about being really good at all the other little things in the game, base running, defense. Like, he works on that stuff. He works on, a lot of little things behind the scenes. He takes care of his body. Like, he's all invested as a baseball player, and that's what's been impressive to witness.
Meredith.
Overall, what did you think of Clark tonight?
I thought Clark was good, man. I mean, he made some 2-strike mistakes, but I thought his stuff was really good, especially on a cold night, and he was pounding the strike zone. I mean, he was, I think, 2-1 strikes. Now, he made some 2-strike mistakes. I think, maybe the first 5 hits or so against him were with 2 strikes or 0-2 and just couldn't put a guy away. But he had swing and miss. What he end up with 6 or 7 strikeouts. How many? 7. So the only thing bugaboo for him tonight was some mistakes and some 2-strike counts. But otherwise, I thought he threw the ball really well.
Works into the 6th inning. Do you feel like this is a step forward, like he's right there and giving you some more length?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is he did have a lot of bigger counts, so his pitch count was high for being as in control of the game he was. But they were putting runners out there because they were getting those 2-strike hits some, so it made his night a little bit longer than maybe his line was. But overall, I thought he was really good.
Okay, thank you.
Some good conversation there about Juan Soto and what he did not only tonight but the entire season, and Aaron Boone dug into that a little bit.
Yeah, he talked about Juan not only on the field. We can all see what he's done on the field, but we can't see how he is in the clubhouse with his teammates. But I can tell you, with being with the team for 6 games on the road, Juan Soto looks as comfortable as any player that I have ever seen being either traded to the New York Yankees or signing a big free agent deal with the New York Yankees. It just seems like, okay, I got traded to a new team. He gets along with all his teammates and his coaches, and the play out on the field, I think, is a result of how comfortable he is right now.
Yeah, you never know what that dynamic is going to be when a new player joins a club, from one star to the next. Or is he going to get accepted, and is he going to be received in a way where he feels comfortable? I think all the signs, hearing Boone talk about the behind the scenes, we're seeing guys like Oswaldo really changing his approach, I think, because he's watching Juan Soto day in and day out, and you learn from the great players. If you're a younger player, I want to sit next to that great player and see if I can better my game by trying to emulate him in some way.
I know you covered that last game, did the entire series in Toronto. The at-bat that he had, and we detailed it on the pregame, where he walked in the 9th and then Judge was able to come up with a big base hit. Judge was struggling at that point. He could have said to himself, I need to be the man right here. He took the walk. I mean, that speaks volumes of not only where he's at in terms of his at-bats that you've broken down, but also trusting that teammate no matter where he's at to have the big hit.
Yeah, I mentioned on the pregame show, every time I watch Juan Soto go to the plate, it's personal to him, right? He takes it so seriously that he's not going to expand out of the strike zone because of the situation. He's going to keep a calm heart rate, and if you make a mistake like he did in Toronto with the home run in the 8th inning and the walk in the 9th inning, he'll very easily say, I got guys behind me who are going to pick me up. If you throw a 1-0 fastball right down the middle at 92 miles an hour tonight, that's not going to get it done.
He has a slow heartbeat. I love that, the way you said that, because in those type of situations, you have to keep the line moving, as you said in the pregame show, right? I need to do my job, get the ball hand the baton to the guy behind me, because Aaron Judge, by the way, can get it done as he did a couple of days ago.
Part of a 5-run 7th inning that propelled the Yanks to a 5-3 victory this season. 5 homers, 20 runs batted in 20 games. He's the first Yankee with 20 or more RBI and 18 or more walks in the first 20 games with the team. 44 times on base in the first 20 games. That's 4th most in franchise history. Take a look at that at the bottom. Yankees are 5-0 when Soto hits a home run this season, which of course he did tonight. Here's more Soto in the clubhouse with the media.
I mean, I'm more than excited. I'm ready. I just go into the plate with my plan. Just try to get a good pitch, try to guard the ball to the outfield, try to get those guys in,
How about the catch there? Did you think that was going out, another big play in the game?
I didn't thought it was going out. Definitely look at the wall, look at the ball, just time it pretty well, try to make my job.
You took a long look in the dugout. What did you think of your teammates' reaction?
It's just great. I mean, like I said before, we feel like friends. We feel like family right now. We really stick together, and they're really enjoying my success as much as them.
What's it like for you to go out to right field and those fans and how you react with them and how you play with them?
That's great. That's what you wanna. That's what you wanna do. You wanna get them going and try to get. Get the help from them, because at the end of the day, they're part of the game too. They're really putting pressure to the other team, and get them going like that. It's just a great feeling.
What do you think of getting MVP chance in mid-April?
I think it's way too early. But definitely it feels great. You know, they just really supported me every day, day in, day out, and it just feels amazing.
When you watch that inning unfold and Cabrera getting down on the error and Volpe getting it sort of a grinded out until you get up there, you watch your teammates try and get on for you.
He's just coming through. They took really good at bats. I mean, you see Cabrera, he took a great at bat. He deserves to get a hit right there. So I think those guys, him and then Trevi, those guys that were taking great pitches and getting on base for us. And I think that's what it takes us where we are right now.
Aaron Boone is saying one of the things that stands out watching you so far is that how much you care about the other parts of your game and not just hitting. Is that something that you came here on a mission to show people, that you're more than a good hitter?
At the end of the day, I'm trying to do it to help my team. That's the biggest thing. And then, yeah, definitely, why not? Should people start talking that I can play defense? Yes, I think I can be out there and try to help my team as much as I hit in the defense too. So mainly it's just to try to win more games, you know, try to get more chances to my teams, to my pitchers, to get out of the innings.
You said it's too early for MVP talk, but that must be a good feeling to hear that from these new fans that have really embraced you.
Yeah, it means we're going the right way.
It's now 20 games into your tenure here. How is this compared to your expectations?
I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, I think my expectations were right there to be in the first place by this time and just try to hold it all the way until the end. I think we're really doing a really good job as a team to win games and everything, and that's what I was expecting about.
That made it 1-0. It's the only run that Schmidt gave up. And you take a look, this is the trend. The pitch count gets up early, and then third time through the order, teams start to hit him, man. So far, that third time through, teams hitting .350 against him. That's about the time the Rays got to him. He threw 102 pitches on the night. Let's hear from Clark Schmidt breaking down his outing.
Clark, another big moment for Juan Soto. Just what's it been like to watch him on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, not very surprised. I mean, it's like every moment, it's big games or big ABs. He's just a special player. I mean, I guess sign the dotted line however much he wants. It's like he always comes through. I mean, he's just very rare to see a player of that caliber.
Do you think that one was getting out there in the third inning?
I didn't think he hit it that good. I mean, you never know when it's to right field, the ball's pulled. But just another example of how good of a player he is. And I think, obviously, new stadium, like getting a feel for it in the first few series, but now just very comfortable out there, making a play on the wall like that. And just he's fun to watch.
Fans were yelling for MVP there. Is he your early pick?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a smart pick right now, I guess. It's just so much fun to watch. I think, and the stadium the atmosphere was amazing tonight. I think it was a playoff atmosphere, and a lot of guys have been saying that with how loud it's been, and just I think a lot of credit goes to him too. I mean, he lights a fire in the crowd, and I know there's a lot of representation from the Dominican, and it's just fun to see. It's a very fun atmosphere, and big credit to him.
Clark, you held them scoreless through 5 there. Just overall, what did you feel like was working for you tonight?
Yeah, I think we realized early on that the sweeper and the curveball were really sharp, and it was one of those things where it was kind of hard to stray away from. The swings we were kind of getting were really awkward on them, so we leaned on that heavily, and a lot of swing and miss, and really happy with kind of where everything was at. And I think I think last week we were talking about the walks, and so to be able to go out there and not have any walks, be on the attack, getting back to the MO was really, really good, and stuff felt good, and it was good to kind of hold them at bay.
How much was that on your mind, and how much pride did you take in putting up the 0 in that walk column?
Yeah, I think definitely wasn't on my mind, I wouldn't say, but it was one of those things where it was like I wasn't out there like cognizant of it, but it was one of those things where it's like, all right, we're definitely not gonna give up free passes. We're gonna go at these guys, be aggressive, and that's what we did tonight, and it ended up being turning out in our favor.
They let you go back out for the 6th when you were in the 90s, and you ended up getting over 100 pitches for the first time in your career. Is that a big deal for you?
Yeah, 100%. I loved every bit of that, and we get the ground ball to Harold right there. It's like you probably get him out, we probably get another hitter right there. So I love it. I want to be out there as long as I possibly can, and I know there's facets of my game that I'm continuing to work on. I think last year it was the lefties. This year it's continuing to go deeper in games, and something that I'm going to continue to get better at. And I think if you take the last game, the 2 results in the last inning, and then you take this one where, obviously one mistake pitch, but other than that, I'm really happy with where everything's at and being able to get better and better going deeper in games.
Well, the way Clark Schmidt trended tonight kind of stuck with the trend all season. We talked about out on the pregame, Dave. The pitch count gets up early, that 3rd time through. These are demons he still has to slay.
But I think tonight was a step forward. Over the last 2 games, he had 8 walks. Tonight, he had 0. He had 15 first pitch strikes out of the 23 hitters he faced. Those are all good signs for me. Yes, are there other things that he needs to work on? Absolutely. He got ahead. We heard Aaron Boone talk about he was unable to really put them away. Yeah. That's something that, you mentioned that the best pitch that he threw tonight was that 2-seamer on the inner half. I'd like to see him use that more when he's ahead, when he has 2 strikes. I thought it was a great pitch that he didn't actually use here.
Yeah, I think both you and I, when we look at a guy like Clark Schmidt, we can see that there's another level to where he can go. That's why you get so excited when you see him go out there and strike out 5 in a row. You see him get in trouble 1st and 3rd in the 2nd inning, strike out 3 in a row, and it just tells you his stuff is so elite. Now, how do we get to that next level where he needs to be? And it's just having shorter pitch counts. He gets ahead in the count, and then it ends up 1-2, 3-2, and the pitch count gets elevated. So I think we sit at this desk and think where he can go. He's getting closer every time out, it seems like.
Clay Holmes picking up his 8th save so far this season. Most saves for a Yankees team through 20 games. Clay Holmes tied with Andrew Miller. Hasn't been done since 9 years ago when Miller had 8 as well. And Holmes 8 saves so far, the most in the majors this season. Here he is post-game breaking down the Yankees win.
Clay, we've already seen some pretty special moments from Juan Soto this year, but what's the feeling like when you see him go to the 2nd deck in right field there?
We're off obviously in Houston, and good atmosphere there, but I mean coming here and some of these games we've had here has been, it's you just feel the intensity, you feel the fans, and it's one of the best places to play. The atmosphere gets really special here.
On that blooper to center field there in the ninth inning, was there any confusion on your end as to what was called and what happened?
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't exactly sure kind of what was going on and kind of what was being talked about both ways. From my angle, I couldn't really tell if Judge caught it or whatnot, but then it like he didn't. I'm not sure. And they may have been talking about the infield fly. Yeah, I'm not sure. It was nice to kind of get the lead out there either way. Just give us a chance for the double play there. How do
you make sure you stay dialed in those situations? It seemed like a lot of time had passed, and at the end of the day, you still have runners on 1st and 2nd and a game to close. Yeah,
it's one of those things where, you just have to stay focused and really, lock in on kind of what you need to do to get out of that. It's obviously, a big moment there, but I knew we had a chance with the double play still in order. I was just trying to make a good pitch. I'm relying on a ground ball, and I knew my sinker was pretty good. And they had a pretty good approach on, had some good swings, and they put the ball in play. But I knew if I kind of executed my game plan, then I was going to get the ground ball we needed. And I'm glad it went to Volpe there, and we can make a play.
You got into some jams so far this season, but keep getting out of it. 0 ERA so far. How would you sum up this first start of the season for you?
Yeah, as a guy who relies on some ground balls, I think the biggest thing for me is, just keep trusting it. There's going to be some that kind of get through, and there's going to be, maybe some guys on base sometimes. But I think that's kind of the one thing that kind of makes me unique is my ability to get the ground ball, and that it takes more than one swing to beat me, and just trusting that. And they're always one pitch away is what I tell myself, and I think just relying on that, trusting on that, and just keep making pitches. And obviously we've made some really good plays back behind me. The defense has been great, so I think it's just trusting that and staying to what I do well.
Do you think sometimes you focus better after you get a couple guys on and bear down and there's no wiggle room?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where sometimes you do kind of get put in a situation where your back's against the wall, and you got to fight your way out of it. And I think that sometimes those moments they do kind of elevate some people, and you got to figure out how to get out of them. And it's one thing that when I feel like I'm in that situation, I'm going to compete and go at guys and do my very best to get us a win.